Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. A former Guyanese media worker convicted for attempting to smuggle cocaine. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 25th July 2023. Details after this important message.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. According to HGP's Tiana Cole's report, 5 months after a former media worker was sentenced to 4 years in prison and fined $14.4 million for attempting to smuggle cocaine into the United States of America, she has been granted High Court bail pending her appeal. The decision to grant bail by the High Court indicates that the former media worker's legal team has appealed against her conviction and sentence. The bail allows her to be temporarily released while the court considers her appeal.
In February, former media worker 26-year-old Zanil Nirmala Williams of Lamaha Gardens was sentenced to 4 years in prison and fined $14.4 million after she was found with 21 pounds of cocaine concealed in her carry-on bag at the Chedijagan International Airport. After spending several months on remand, Williams was granted High Court bail because the jail term imposed on her by Senior Magistrate Sunis Skirs was too harsh. Williams is being represented by Hughes, Field and Stobie Law Firm. Williams had made her first court appearance in April 2022 when she pleaded guilty to a drug trafficking charge. However, the following month she changed her plea to not guilty and was refused bail and was remanded to prison. On February 10, 2023, at the Diamond Golden Grove Magistrates Court, Williams again changed her plea to guilty and following a trial was sentenced. Williams, along with ex-officer of the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit, Anil Suku, 33, of Kurukuru, Susdike Linden Highway, and Gainer of New Authority GRA, Officer Shamika Caesar, 27, of Durban Street, Wortmanville, Georgetown, were jointly charged with allegedly trafficking 9.628 kilograms of cocaine at the airport. Caesar and Suku both denied the allegation and were each granted bail in a sum of $750,000. Williams, an outgoing passenger destined for the United States, was intercepted by Kanu officers at a CGIA with 7.962 kilograms of cocaine concealed in a fake wall on a carry-on bag. She was immediately arrested and escorted to Kanu's headquarters, where an additional 1.666 kilograms of cocaine was found strapped to her body. The narcotics had a street value of $5 million. Further investigations led to the arrest of Soku and Caesar. Tiana Ko reported for the HGP Nightly News.
Over in Barbados, the Integrity in Public Life Bill 2023 has been passed with unanimous support in the lower house, yet again after debate in Parliament on Friday. The revamped bill was introduced after much consultation from a wide cross-section of the Barbadian public. The bill was defeated in the Senate back in August of 2020. Speaker of the House, His Honor Arthur Holder, confirmed the bill reached the 2/3 constitutional threshold.
24-0. 24 persons voted for which has reached the 2/3 majority as required as per our Constitution.
Seconded.
This bill is passed and so cited.
During the debate, Prime Minister Mia Mottley revealed there are concerns the bill may cause a reduction in the number of persons willing to serve. She says government understands the risk but is prepared to take it.
Conscious that there must be a review periodically to ensure that we are not scoring an own goal in the end. But conscious that we are in a far better position to fight corruption given the other substantive pieces of legislation to which I referred at the outset of my speech, that allow us now to be able to be more laser-like in the fight against corruption.
In the meantime, the government is hoping to make the University College of Barbados a reality in a bid to further advance the legacy of Sir Lloyd Erskine Sandiford. Prime Minister Mia Mottley shared the intention sometime last week as she led off tributes to the island's former Prime Minister, hailing Sir Lloyd's contributions to nation building. Ms. Mottley notes he has left his mark in education.
I hope that we can complete the task first and foremost of the establishment of a University College of Barbados that is dedicated to the applied arts and sciences, taking Sir Lloyd's vision and Sir James's vision to another level. And there's a whole host of skills. And interestingly enough, on Monday night, I would have raised these matters with the Chancellor, the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, for us to be able to benefit from technical expertise in this particular area of technical and vocational education and training, what I like to call applied arts and applied sciences, which is really where a society and an economy makes its defining difference in its output from others. Suffice it to say, though, that we would not be in a position to do all of that had it not been for the initial foundation work of Sir Lloyd in the creation of these two post-secondary institutions.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
The days of sweltering hot temperatures in the Bahamas, the heat index soaring to triple digits, the result of climate change. More in this ZNS News item.
Acting Director of the Department of Meteorology, Jeffrey Simmons, further explains will offer no comfort, and that's that those oppressive temperatures will only increase as we head into August and September.
Yeah, we are noticing we had some pretty warm temperatures for the past few weeks, soon after the rain finished. So that's a lot of warm air coming from the south, we had a southwesterly flow coming, was bringing a lot of moisture, as we just a lot of dry, warm air. And so that's what giving us all of that problem. Climate change, yeah, it could be a result of it, because we are now seeing more and more of these. I think we had now for the past few days consecutive in the 90s, right? And we're still in July, early July.
Now, when asked if these temperatures are normal this time of year, Simmons shared this much.
You don't see the change consistent every year. Some years you'll see things a bit more than others. And this is one of those years when we had a lot of things happened this year. We had the rainfall we saw early in June. That was kind of because for the past, we have about 2-3 weeks of everyday rainfall. We see these warm temperatures now consistently in the 90s every day. Then now another strange thing happened in June, or not strange, but rather abnormal, is we actually had 3 named storms in the Atlantic Basin in June. That is something you don't usually see. But however, it was the first year since about 7-8 years we did not see a hurricane before June 1st. So yeah, some things are happening this year that's kind of out of the usual.
Creatives in St. Kitts and Nevis will have greater opportunity and potential for growth and development following the official launch of the St. Kitts and Nevis Creative Economy on 28th July 2023. Just days ago, at the pre-launch press conference, officials from the Ministry and Department of Creative Economy outline a host of benefits for creatives in the Federation. One of the key benefits will be access to the 3-tier Creative Arts Fund. Robertina Webb, Director, Creative Economy, explains more about the fund. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
Then the Creative Arts Fund. So it's a fund created to stimulate the economic growth of the creative sector and contribute to the advancement of skill set and talent. It aims to finance cultural projects and programs that are designed to develop the creative industries and train creative entrepreneurs. So the grants enable persons to participate in local and overseas events, workshops, seminars, and allow for training, marketing, export, and product development. There will be 3 types of grants. through what we call the CAF. That's the Creative Arts Fund, the technical aid, the product development, and the project advancement grants. In the first phase, grant will range from $2,000 up to $15,000. And more details will be made available on July 28th, so you cannot miss the launch. And I know this is something that creators will be totally excited for.
The department is also working on an interactive website for creatives and for the general public, providing an avenue to showcase profiles and to interact with creatives. Glenn Bard reporting for SK Newsline.
The National Transformation Alliance and the United National Congress held a joint meeting in Port of Spain on Wednesday night, telling their audience that a partnership is the only vehicle to remove the People's National Movement from the corridors of power, even at the local government level. Urvashitawari Rupnarayan of TV6 News has more.
NTA leader Gary Griffith says he's been walking and campaigning through less traveled areas like Coco Reed's, Carenage, Sealot, Duncan and Nelson Streets in Port of Spain. And people have complained that they have not seen their PNM representatives for quite some time. The former National Security Minister says the PNM dismantled initiatives to reduce crime and just wants a puppet as police commissioner.
Every single year, crime would have gone back up. PNM. 2010 to 2015 went back down. UNC. 2015 to 2023, every year it goes back up, except for my last year when it was the highest reduction in violent crime.
He accused the Prime Minister of sinister moves and attempting, while he, Griffith, was police commissioner, to lure him to do his bidding. Griffith says he did a polygraph test.
It is the opinion of this examiner that the subject, that's me being myself, was truthful to the responses. There was no deception indicated to any of the relevant test questions asked. Now, so I have a polygraph test to prove that I do not lie.
And he issues this challenge to the Prime Minister.
I want to challenge Keith Rowley to do polygraph testing. He and Gary Griffith, manu a manu. And these are the questions I would like to ask because it is for me and for him. Did you ever use your position to benefit financially by illegal activities, inclusive of state assets, to move it from one location to another to financially benefit yourself? Did you ever harass, meet, or influence the police to investigate political opponents?
And countering what has been said about Griffith issuing an unprecedented number of firearms, he says of the 4,000 issued during his tenure, 2,000 were to police officers. Also joining the platform, opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissassa described the meeting called by the Prime Minister on Sunday with the divisional heads of police as a gimmick.
The senior officer at that meeting has said it was a senseless meeting. Everyone left really baffled because no one offered a strategy.
An accommodation has been agreed upon with the NTA and the UNC. The NTA is fielding 31 candidates and the UNC 110. Urvashitawari Rupnarayan, TV6 News.
British Virgin Islands governor very concerned about the illegal drugs trade in the British overseas territory.
British Virgin Islands Governor John Rankin warned islanders that they could lose the relative safety and comfort that they enjoy if the illegal contraband trade is not rooted out from society immediately. Rankin gave this warning as he and members of the National Security Council spoke at a media conference following the seizure of a large quantity of cocaine, firearms, and ammunition. The governor urged islanders to provide police with any information that they may have about crime and violence in their communities. Thank you for watching. I'm Tiana Cole.
Hubbard's is once again innovating the way you shop with its new online store, providing 24-hour shopping convenience. You can shop now for appliances, hardware, houseware, building material, and more. Free delivery island-wide. Start shopping now at hubbardshardware.gd. Safe, convenient, reliable.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.